For semester 2 in 2023, we decided to try and have some consistencies across our early childhood topic. So I'm going to take you through the layout that we kind of ended up with. There are some differences, obviously, for personal touches, etc., throughout, but for the most part, we used the same layout and the same, I guess, navigation, so students had some consistency across our topics. This is the front page or the landing page, call it what you will. This is the core, I guess, setup that we used that tried to show a very brief, obviously, introduction that's basically copied from the handbook about the topic. And sometimes there was some additional information provided on this front page. But we basically used it as that landing page. They don't spend a lot of time here, so there shouldn't be a lot of functionality or information. And as they go through the semester, they just jump in here and jump straight off. So there shouldn't be anything new that's kind of always there. The information that we do have is kind of locked away in 3 different areas. We have the syllabus tool being used in this topic, and within that I'll show you is a layout that replicates what we had in our topic handbook to try and put it all into one place. Of course, we have the assignments, and they are core. Every student wants those. They seem to be the most important aspect to it. And so we did add a button here. And the modules here is a shortcut into what I've set up essentially for this topic. And I'm going to show you those different layouts as well. So if you include this landing page, the syllabus, the assignments, and the modules, we get all the elements that we used during this first attempt at Canvas. So apart from this particular one, let's have a look at the syllabus, which obviously if you click here, you will get it, but you can also click in the side panel. So once it loads, it's using a little bit of some styling that you can turn on within Canvas to make it look a little bit more appealing. And again, this is that same information out of the handbook, that overview descriptor of what the topic is. What you put here and what it looks like is going to be really a personal decision. But remembering this is trying to replace the handbook as a way of communicating all this core information. Then we have a bunch of little, what they call here, this is an accordion style, and all the information is hidden behind these buttons. But what the syllabus tool does is you can see it gives you the calendar, it gives you a summary of the assignments, and it gives you obviously the assignments down here. The problem, as you can start to see, that there is an awful lot, is because when students start to put in an extension request, it adds on another due date essentially, and time. And so you can see that different students have different requirements in these. And so it looks a lot more chaotic than it actually it was in practice. But that's really important for what I see, for what a student sees. It's a little more condensed. So we could just jump into student mode here and have a look. Okay, and as you can see, this is what a student would see. So that's a little bit more tangible with the due dates, etc. And they could click on this and jump to that particular assignment. But within the syllabus, I think what makes this very useful for teaching staff is to provide, first and foremost, a place to do a welcome, and however that might be done, whether it's done with photo and text, whether it's done through audio. And my preference was a video that I showed, and when it goes through, you can see me on the screen, but the core information was provided in the slides that we had. And this is just embedded using the Studio tool. Of course, most important for us, obviously, is the topic outcomes provided here, just as we would expect, as well as the teaching staff and a little bit about those. In this topic, it was just me, so it makes it a little bit short and sweet. What we'll also find here is some of the key resources, and this one had a required textbook, but also a recommended one, and so that was placed here. And throughout, they are given links to the readings, which are more academic in nature through each module. The overview, again, I was kind of manipulating this design function just to give them that what we're doing when, and kind of what assignments due at that roughly at that time. And this is really easy to adjust and make changes. You could keep it simple and more sustainable by removing the dates that are here and keeping that as open as possible. So next year when it's being reused, don't have to change something, don't have to update it, and to reduce that administration load. With all of these little things, as you'll see, these are all hyperlinked and they go off to the web pages just as they did in the handbook. So that was really important, and they're all the same. Okay, this one is the kind of connection and manipulation that we were trialing to meet accreditation requirements and being able to communicate that. I did play around with the table format again within Canvas, but there's also an opportunity here just to screenshot what we have and put it in as an image. This shouldn't change, so how it's done is going to be really important. I think with the last one is just that connection back to how they're being graded through our marks and grade system. Again, all of this was in our topic handbook, and so probably with the exception of the video. And I guess this is what this is trying to do, is to make that more interactive. Should they need that information, they know where to find it. If we jump back to the home page, you'll see that the assignments is where we spent a lot of our time, and the students, obviously these are all in the past when I'm doing this video, but these are the core assignments that were part of this. And to give them an overview, if I just jump into assignment 1, this is what we kind of presented as a standard. We gave them a clear heading and value. We gave them the description, the instructions that are here. This used to be in the handbook, it's now here. And we gave them the connection here to being prepared, to the sort of resources they might need when they're constructing their assignment. And because Canvas is new, we wanted to give them the overview of how you submit, how you request an extension, and how you do the resubmission process should they need it. And so this is repeated again for every assignment, this same layout with the information being portrayed in this way. And there are some additions that we do along the way, including our downloadable version of the instructions and of course the rubric that we are using to mark within Canvas. And I also create explanation videos, and while I do this in class as well, I like to do a very short video just so it's there in case someone's missed something, or in case I need to refer back to something in the future conversations to address questions. I have usually given them examples or a sample that I'm showing them in the video, and so that's really core in these sorts of topics. So that's pretty much the standard layout, and of course students know how to use their submission process, and this one has, even under my testing student, has got a submission because I was exploring that side of things. So that's what each assignment looks like. If I jump back from jumping in here to the modules, I have grouped pretty much everything under one module. And why I did this is because I do teach usually within a week, within a workshop. I'm using slides usually in class to help progress and structure that particular workshop. But I wanted to provide everything outside of that kind of model as well, in a more, I guess, more functional way, more user-friendly way. So other than the workshops, which I'll show you what one of these looks like in a minute, I also had some support materials. So particularly for things when I'm making extra resources, I give them a direct link. And I might obviously announce this and put that hyperlink in so that they know where it is located. And the assessment hub is still here because of the forum is still turned on. And in this case, the quiz, which was assignment 2, is kind of published here. It's just because it needed a place to be. That's different to the assignment. So just bare minimum, basically. That was my kind of approach. Within each week, if I jump into this first page, you'll see the standard design throughout. And this is intentional for each topic. And each topic is slightly different. particularly when you're juggling multiple topics, it's a good idea to be very clear on your structure as a teacher and how you're ordering things. This is replicated in the slides in a way, but I wanted to provide that kind of overview. What do you expect? The link to the readings for the particular week, just to highlight that they are part of their learning. And then the activities. And because the activities that we do in class are here, should students be unable to attend, they've still got this information. And so there is a video that we watch, clearly. We also do some planning and connecting and understanding how we're going to actually do that throughout. So this is very important. We do in this topic, as a hands-on activity, we call it a design brief in technologies. And so it is trying to be clear about what you need and what you do while making the links that I needed to make to go elsewhere. And at the end of every week, I put up the slides so they had them, because that was a high request for this cohort. And so I just published those as a PDF from using another tool. And so for each week, it looks like that. But what I turned on was this lovely progress. They can see each week. So here's week 1, here's week 2, here's week 3, and so on. And so they could jump between them should they need to, without having to go back to that modules and jumping in again. And each week, as you can see, has that same sort of structure being used. And this is what they call a tab function within Canvas. And it just makes it, I guess, a bit more dynamic without being scroll worthy. And so depending on the topic, it's depending on how complex this is. So that's pretty much the overview for each of our topics that we completed in our first semester of using Canvas. And I want to say I had everything ready to go for the beginning, but of course I didn't, particularly the modules. I think the priority is still always going to be our syllabus and assignments and our landing page and what they get here. I think moving forward, we're going to make some minor changes, and I'll show you that in another video.